Alright, howdy. I'm going to do a demo today of the Supro Drive pedal, which is part of the recent Supro line that came out a few years ago. They've got kind of reissues with modern touches on some of the amps, and you will probably remember the Supro amps as being associated with Jimmy Page in his earlier Led Zeppelin days, especially the Thunderbolt, which is supposed to be the amp used on some of the earlier Led Zeppelin records. I have had several of the original Supro guitars over the years, and I have a Supro Westbury, which I think is just a great guitar. Kind of takes the vibe and the styling of the original and really kind of solidifies it, makes it playable in the modern sense. Not feeling like a kind of a rinky student level guitar, which the originals kind of were. But the Drive is their overdrive pedal, although as you'll hear, it can get into kind of fuzz territory gain-wise. It has on the back here, it has input and output jacks as well as a power jack for 9 volts, which is great. But it also has a fourth jack back here, which is actually for an expression pedal, and allows you to control the gain knob on an expression pedal. I'm not going to show that because I don't want to dig up my expression pedal, but it is kind of a cool thing to have if you want to dial back the gain for rhythms or for softer parts and then crank it up for leads. You will hear that the gain pedal gets a little bit noisy. So I'm playing a Les Paul Tread Pro 3, which is 57 classics, and they're kind of just PAF level up, but so nothing too hot, and into a sort of clone of a JTM 45. And when I say sort of, I mean because it has a master volume, so I can set it clean or dirty. I've got it set pretty clean right now because I want to hear just the pedal, but as we go along I may stop and turn up the gain a little bit to get into kind of dirty territory by itself and see if the pedal behaves differently through that. But here is the clean sound. And I'm going to turn the pedal on. The gain right now is all the way down. It's really hard to see the indicators on these knobs, which is kind of a pain. The volume is now about unity gain, and the tone is, we'll start with it in the middle. That's where that was. I'll go ahead and mess with that one first. I've got the transformer in the rich mode. There is the gain and the tone all the way down. Here's the tone about halfway up. Up, gets a little bit fizzy. I tend to like it there just a little bit below half. With the gain all the way down, I can crank up the output. See, even with the gain all the way down, that's a pretty serious overdrive. I'll turn the output back down a little bit and turn the gain up to 9 o'clock or so and let you hear that. Turn the gain up to about half. Gain up about 2/3. Well, I can make it 3/4. You hear some noise starting to come in here. So that's a pretty good amount of gain. It will, however, clean up. So if it does get noisy enough, I turn it all the way up, you can really hear the noise. This is where you'll hear the difference between the rich and the bold the best too. You hear, I don't know if you can hear this some high end that drops off there. And you hear you get some kind of fuzz tails going on there in the sound, but you can hear, I hope, that the bold versus rich kind of more of that high-end fry in the rich mode. The neck pickup, so you can really kind of hear it there. And then of course if I just dime the thing all together, and then if I turn the tone control down, you get some really kind of fuzz kind of sounds out of it. But even with it, you know, set kind of reasonably as far as the gain goes. So there you go. Great sounding pedal, definitely kind of a classic vibe, and check it out if you can, especially if you're into you know, kind of the classic rock sound. It's not a super high gain metal pedal. I don't know if I would specifically call it an overdrive or distortion. That gets argued a lot. Thanks.